This is News Analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the program for today. I'm Fatima Abubakar Oyibo. The headlines. Tinubu redeploys 100,000 police officers amid mass abduction crisis. Ezekwesili faults corruption for surge in mass abductions and insecurity. Katsina police strengthening school security amid rising abduction threats. And on the foreign scene, Russia strikes Kharkiv amid optimism over US-Ukraine peace framework. Details of these stories and more to come shortly after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and now the news in full. In a decisive move to strengthen national security, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the withdrawal of roughly 100,000 police officers from VIP protection details. The directive, issued after a high-level security meeting with service chiefs and the DSS, mandates that these officers be redeployed to core policing duties, especially in remote and undeserved communities where insecurity has surged. The administration also announced the approval of 30,000 new police recruits as part of a broader strategy to boost manpower. Meanwhile, VIPs seeking security will now have to turn to the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) for well-armed protection, freeing up the police to focus on countering the wave of kidnappings and abductions plaguing many parts of the country. Meanwhile, former Education Minister and anti-corruption crusader Obi Ezekwesili has sharply criticized the Nigerian government, saying that the worsening insecurity and rampant kidnappings are deeply rooted in corruption. She argues that the state's failure to act decisively and a pattern of impunity among leaders have emboldened the criminal networks, from bandits to mass abductors, to operate with near total disregard for human life. Ezekwesili lamented that continued debate over whether these attacks amount to genocide are a distraction from the real issue, a political system that treats citizens' lives as expendable. She urged Nigerians to demand accountability and governance that protects the majority, not just pays lip service to their pain. In another development, in response to escalating banditry and the looming risk of school kidnappings, the Katsina State Police Command has activated a robust schools protection mechanism to safeguard educational institutions across the state. Commissioner of Police Bello Shehu, following orders from Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun, has deployed additional tactical resources and reinforced the schools protection squad to patrol school compounds and their environs. This initiative comes against a troubling backdrop. A recent Oxford policy management study backed by UNICEF revealed that from 2020 to 2025, about 330 students were abducted in Katsina, leading to 52 schools being shut down in high-risk areas such as Batsari, Faskari, and Kankara as part of its preventive efforts. The state has also invested in physical security, erecting perimeter fencing, employing uniformed guards, and establishing community-based early warning systems in schools. You're still watching news analysis right here on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Still to come, Naira slipped to 1,456 Naira 72 kobo against dollar as demand pressure bites. Details of this headline and more news content after a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back. And now on to business matters. Nigeria's weakened significantly on Friday closing at 1,456 naira 72 kobo per US dollar in the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market (NAFEM), marking a 0.32% drop from the previous session. Analysts say the depreciation stems from sustained dollar demand that outpaces supply despite ongoing interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Meanwhile, Nigeria's external reserves have grown modestly, a point often cited as a buffer, but one thing that has not fully stemmed the currency slide. And onto the foreign scene, a massive Russian drone strike rocked Kharkiv, killing at least 4 people and injuring 17, according to the city's mayor and regional officials. Fires broke out in residential buildings and critical infrastructure in 2 districts as emergency crews scrambled to contain the damage. The attack came just as US, Ukrainian, and European delegates in Geneva reported tremendous progress on a refined peace framework aimed at ending the war. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called the talks very worthwhile, and the White House said the talks represented a significant step forward, though some European leaders remain wary of elements they say may favor Moscow. And now for sport news, let's join Aroko Tom.
Good day, I'm Aroko Tom. Let's dive into the latest sports update. It's the end of an era and the beginning of a new era. The Nigerian Basketball Premier League has witnessed a dramatic shift. In Paris, Lagos Legends have officially been crowned the 2025 champions, ending River Hoopers' 2 years dominance in spectacular fashion. Lagos Legends edged River Hoopers 74-72 in a tightly contested finals that showcased elite basketball, tactical discipline, and incredible heart from both sides. But on the night, the Legends stood tallest. The team had everything working, stacked talents across every position, seamless execution, and role players who knew exactly what to do at every moment. Much of what that success is credited to is head coach Michael Ikima, widely known as Coach Ninja, whose tactical expertise and ability to manage the personalities of big name players proved decisive. Many agree he deserved his flowers for molding a complete championship unit. Special recognition also goes to Aknan Mani, team owner of Lagos Legends, and also Marktown Flyers, whose timely involvement and strong support helped stabilize and elevate the team into title contenders. With this victory, Lagos Legends not only earned River Hoopers back-to-back reign, but also coveted a spot in the Basketball Africa League, officially ushering in a new chapter for the franchise under the refreshed Marktown Flyers management. The message is clear: a new era has begun. That's all for P&B Sports News. I'm Aroko Tom, and bye for now.
Welcome back, and let's move on to our focus today on Politics and Business Television. And today we analyze one of the most consequential security decisions in recent years. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the withdrawal of police officers attached to VIPs nationwide, directing them back to core policing duties. Nigerians are asking, is this a long overdue correction or a risky political gamble with national security at stake? Well, the directive has exploded across social media. One user said, "Let politicians feel the insecurity we go through every day." Another said, "This won't change anything unless police reform begins from the inside." And some said, "Watch VIPs replace police with private militias. That's the real danger." Security observers warn that implementation, not announcement, will determine success. We were supposed to have a guest on the program, but due to some issues, we won't be able to have this discussion today. But we'll be bringing back this discussion